So we have finally made it to the last video in this little mini-series regarding the Thrivecta Method. And by now you'd have probably done a little bit of homework. I'm hoping that you've done it. You would have had 6 total questions to complete. 2 questions of Principle 1, where it was all based around you focusing on yourself. Okay? And the principle we actually stated in video number 1 was this: your capacity controls the fate of your future. So if you don't have the capacity to create, you don't have the capacity to keep going, you don't have the energy, you don't have the focus, you don't have those kind of things in place, then you're going to struggle to build that thriving coaching business, that business that gets you to that 10K a month. You're going to struggle to build it because you simply don't have the energy and the focus to do what needs to be done at the end of the day. Okay? In video number 2, we focus on the principle of confusion creates chaos when confidence is needed. And it kind of was based around this idea that, there's so much choice out there for us as coaches to learn from different mentors and coaches. But then at the same time, there's the same amount of choices and more for our clients, because the coaching market is pretty much flooded with coaches. So they could look at free apps, they can go to Google, they can try and look at who's the cheapest coach. And the whole idea was that if you give them too many options of going to other people, because they need help from you as an example as a fitness coach, but then they need help with a mindset and they need help with lifestyle or therapy or whatever, then if they go to all these different people, there's a very, very good chance that they'll get confused. And during times of struggle, the number one thing we want is confidence. We want that confidence to push through. And the more confused we get, the more inconsistent we become. Just think about your own life. Like when you're focusing on your business and you read something about, listen, you got to do Facebook ads, otherwise you'll never be successful. And then you go to Facebook ads and then you read something about, hey, you got to do funnels and you got to go this way. And then you need to create constant communication. You need to create all this content and this and that. Like it really confuses you. And once you start thinking about all those things, like you stop doing what you were busy doing. And that really is the same thing that's happening to your clients. So you have to be able to offer them more than one thing in different modalities to keep it interesting and fun, and that will rise you to the top. And then in principle number 3 was the profit you acquire will provide the freedom you desire. And this specific principle was all based around us as coaches have a skill set to make a difference, to change people's life. To take them from, being that anxious, depressed, to having that awesome, fulfilling kind of happiness in their life, or being overweight, obese, being, struggling with their health, and taking them to that strong, sexy, solid, lean, muscular body, like really that makes them happy and excited about you being their coach. Like we have that skills. But the problem is most of us as coaches, we struggle financially ourselves because we don't know how to build a business. We weren't taught how to build a business. And we get stuck in this idea of that the more qualifications we get, the more accreditations we get, the more money we'll make. But that simply isn't true. Like clients do not care about your qualifications and accreditations. They simply don't. And if people don't know what a great coach you are, you're not able to market yourself, and you're not able to charge money for it, you won't have a business. And there's also a massive difference between simply taking your time and exchanging that for money, like offering coaching calls and just basic things, versus building a sustainable business that's predictable, having processes in place where you know exactly what your method is, how you market, how do you make money, how do you manage everything, and you have money that you could put away the profits for 6 to 12 months that helps you like literally adapt to trying times. Like if you don't know how to do that, you simply don't have a business. So with all that said, if you just think about the idea of firstly focusing on yourself as a coach, like that's a lot of work, yes. Secondly, you have to focus on your clients. That's what most of us do. That's a lot of work. And it's draining. And then thirdly, we have the company kind of idea where we have to focus on the company, we have to build a business. And like, if you're a solo entrepreneur, that's daunting. Having to look after yourself. So what happens most of the time, you put yourself to the side and you focus on your clients. And then they drain you so much that you start forgetting that, listen, you don't really want to build a company, you just want to make money, so you just focus on getting clients. And you're not really building any sustainability, and you just keep working harder and harder and longer. And so your family life actually starts falling apart as well. I know, I went through a divorce. That's exactly what happened to me. And then once that happens, financially you get absolutely ruined. You might even go bankrupt. You'll get completely exposed for everything that's truly going on in your life. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. That's kind of the cycle that happens to a lot of coaches. And that's what led me to creating the Thrivecta Method. It's simple. I know it sounds weird. Trifecta, Thrivecta. Well, it's simple. I want you to thrive in all three of those areas. Because the truth is, if you're a solo entrepreneur, you simply don't have the means, financial means, to either get a lot of software that costs you thousands of dollars, or even get a team that can do all the stuff for you. You have to find a way to do everything for as little money as possible, and find the time to focus on yourself, to focus on your clients, and to focus on your company. That's difficult. It took me 14 years to figure out how to actually put everything together. It took me building successful fitness business and coaching business and losing everything, and then having to try and rebuild slowly but surely, making a ton of mistakes, going in hundreds of different directions, getting certified as a digital marketer even though I was a coach, like really being pulled in all these different directions, simply because all I wanted to do was build a thriving coaching business that made 10K a month. That's all I wanted to do, so that I could travel and have the freedom that I wanted. And so I got pulled in these different directions. And eventually I took all the things that I learned, I created frameworks. I just found out that that was something I was good at, creating frameworks, like literally saying coach, client, company, putting that in a little diamond shape or in a triangle shape, and saying, listen, yeah, I'm going to call this the Thrivecta Method, and there's a system to everything. Literally saying, listen, yeah, the coach is focus, fuel, fire, and facts. We focus on those 4 things. And then we go to the client, where we offer them courses, we offer them challenges, we offer them coaching, and we give them a culture, specific culture for them to create and to get results. And then we move into the company part, where we focus on a specific method, which is the Thrivecta Method, but for the client. And then on top of that, how to market that method, then how to make money from that marketing and the method, and then ultimately how to manage everything together. That is the Thrivecta in a couple of sentences in a couple of minutes time. So if you want to be a case study, be part of the case study challenge, then it's simple. All you have to do is send me a message. You'll have a button below this video where you can send me a message and tell me, listen, yeah, I'm interested in being part of the case study challenge. Well, why the case study challenge? Well, very simple. Because that's the first step. That's like the white belt version. If you want to go after that specific step, if you want to go on and you move on, you'll have an opportunity to become certified as a Thrivecta trainer, where you can take this whole process, you'll use it in your own life, and that's why you do the case study challenge first. You become your own case study, because if you do decide to move on and become a certified trainer, then you will use your own case study as a positioning tool for your current and future clients. And you will learn how to market that method, you'll get the method, you'll get licensing to the method, how to use it, how to market it, how to build a business, everything. But it all starts with you focusing on yourself first, understanding the basics and the fundamental elements, and ultimately becoming your own case study. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, simple. Send me a message, tell me you want to be part of the case study challenge, and we'll take it from there. If you haven't done the homework for these videos, for this specific series, go back to Principle 1, video 1, answer the 2 questions, go back to video 2, answer the 2 questions, go back to video 3, and answer the 2 questions. So with that said, thank you so much for going through this mini-series. I really appreciate your time. And guess what? I want you to build a thriving coaching business. I'm a coach myself, and I know how tough it can be. But you can literally go from striving, or from struggling, to feeling alive, to striving, to ultimately thriving. Those are the 4 phases you will ultimately go through once you go into Fit Pro Dojo, if that's something you want to be a part of in the future. But until then, do the homework, send me a message if you want to be part of the case study challenge. My name is Stian Weideman. I am the founder of Fit Pro Dojo and the creator of the Thrivecta Method. And with that said, I'm going to leave you to your own.